Hi everyone! Are you in the process of picking your niche, but you want to know just how small is too small when picking yours? Then stick around, because today we're going to learn just how niche is too niche when you pick yours. Welcome back everyone, I'm Alan, and on this channel we talk all things sales funnels and online business. Now, picking your niche is one of the most important decisions that any business can take. However, it's often one of the most ignored. This is mainly because most marketers and entrepreneurs just can't bring themselves to commit to only one niche and to say no to the rest. Or they have 2 or 3 top niches that they just can't decide between. Since you're already watching this video, or if you're wondering just how niche is too niche, then you're already on the right track. But there are many more factors that go into answering that important question. So let's jump right in and let's learn 5 ways to test if your niche is too small. So the first way to test if your niche is too niche is by accepting the fact that it probably isn't. It's funny because there are a lot of marketers who say that the entrepreneurs or the businesses get tired of their own advertising way before the audience does. And the same concept applies here, that the marketer or the entrepreneur or the business, they always think, this is a little too niche, this is a little too specific, way more like they perceive that idea much more than the actual market does. So the point here is that 99% of the people asking this question of is my niche too niche, the answer is it isn't. Now on top of that, 99% of people will assume they are in that 1%. So anyway, just keep that in mind. Or better yet, this is a rule of thumb that I love to keep in mind, which is, do you still have 5 direct competitors or more? Well then, you aren't niched enough. The second way to test your niche size is by testing the demand and competition in the market. Now, much can be said about keyword research tools, which I have before, such as Google Keyword Planner or Google Trends or a million other options, but what this really comes down to is, are people buying things in this niche? Or are people searching for solutions in this niche? Or do people have problems that they currently cannot solve in this niche? Now, to be fair, this isn't always easy to see, and the best businesses and marketers generally are better at finding these hidden subcategories of demand than most people are. For more on how to gauge niche demand and for sources for ideas of your own, then definitely check out my video here or in the description below. On the other hand of demand is competition. So demand means what does the market want? Competition means who's already there and solving that problem. Now, I've talked a lot about this before, but if some new niche that you just thought up has 0 competition, that means 0 products being sold, 0 services being offered, 0 content being made in that niche, then that probably means it is not a good idea, because that means that other people have probably tried entering that niche but didn't find enough demand. On the other hand, of course, I am a huge fan of avoiding competition or of making them irrelevant by building your own trust, your authority, and your differentiation, like I discuss more in this video here. One last note on demand, however, is to just ask yourself this question: are there irrationally passionate people buying in this niche? That means, are there people that are kind of crazy interested that are willing to buy in this niche and consume content because actual passion and commitment and level of interest is actually much more important than size of a general market. The third way to test if your niche is too small or too big is to test its profitability. Now, of course, profitability ultimately comes down to your margin, which is the difference between what it costs you to provide that service or product versus what you can sell it for. Now, to be fair, demand and competition, which we just talked about, do play a very big role in profitability, but not the only role. So for example, just because something has high demand does not necessarily mean that it's profitable. And the same thing goes with competition. Just because there is 0 or a lot of competition also doesn't necessarily mean profitability. The next thing to consider when considering considering the size of your niche or sub-niche is to consider your possibility for expansion. Now, while I usually suggest the nicher or the smaller your niche, the better, on the other hand, you do have to consider if you have enough room for expansion and just generally enough of a wide enough umbrella for it. So for example, if your niche is people who want computer mouses that are blue, then you have to consider if you're going to specialize in that niche, are there magazines, are there events, are there content channels, are there influencers, are there ways for you to actually reach that audience? And once you reach your entire audience, whether that be computer mouses sold in wherever, once you max out that niche, is there room for expansion? Now, maybe the most important thing to consider when deciding between niches that are too small or to make sure that they are expandable or transferable enough is to remember the fact that you should always start small and then expand from there. The next way to test the size of your niche is to focus on one ideal customer. If you want to keep your niche bigger, aka attract a bigger pool of prospects and customers and clients and so forth. Now, this is extremely important to keep in mind because if you are aiming for a larger group or a bigger niche of audience, customers, and clients, then you can probably afford to charge less if you are aiming for volume. However, what I usually suggest is to go for a higher ticket, more expensive price, which means that you will need significantly less customers and clients to meet the same revenue and profit goals. Now, I've mentioned before that there are a million benefits and reasons to choose a specific audience, customer, or client. So just some of those include, for one, your marketing, your advertising, your marketing materials, your pretty much almost everything in your business becomes infinitely easier when you focus on one specific type of prospect or customer or client. Now, like I said earlier, one of the main reasons that businesses and people don't narrow down on a single niche is because they don't want to exclude markets that they could potentially serve. But if you focus on a specific customer or audience, as opposed to committing to a specific niche, then focusing on that audience member actually gives you a lot more leeway to pick different niches. So what's your niche? Is it saturated, or do you have room to niche down more? Let me know in the comments below. And the absolute best way on earth to test the size of your niche is to hit the like button and subscribe below. If you learned something interesting today, it does help a lot. For more help finding your niche, then definitely grab my free 5-step guide below for how to find your niche, as well as 100 niche ideas. Well, that wraps us up for today. Thanks everyone for stopping by, and I'll see you on the next one.